necessarily wouldn't go to. And they knew what they were doing, and they were very good at it.
You know, there's a campaign we're thinking about doing, and you have a big audience here. This is like an informal survey. How many of you would prefer to see a movie in a movie theater on a big screen as opposed to seeing it for the first time at home on, video on demand? How many of you would prefer?
I would rather see it in a movie theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're going to do that campaign. There's a campaign that we have. We don't know if it will do any good because we actually love the fact that you can also see in some towns, some smaller towns, you don't get to see movies in the theater. They go right to, maybe it's a video on demand, or maybe later you'll see it on Netflix or one of the other online kind of platforms.
What's the campaign you want to do?
It's supposed to be a secret, but I was the one who brought it up.
Right? Wait. No, hang on. We've done this every year, right? All of a sudden will start to say something, and I realize, oh, geez, this isn't public yet. But no, you don't have to worry. Each year, I will safely do what you just did, and I asked them, will you all promise to keep it in this room, right here? I swear to God, not once has anything I've said here gotten out. No, right? Yeah. Look, nobody's getting their camera up right now to put this on YouTube.
Sure.
No. The other crowds at the other theaters here, they would. If this crowd gives you their promise that what you're about to say will not leave the doors of the Lars Hochstedt Auditorium, I'm not making this up as a joke, am I? Right?
Well, I'll tell you this. I can't tell you.
And the internet hasn't come to Traverse City yet.
I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you that I had some doubt about the campaign, but now, when the campaign comes out, you can say it started here, because based on the survey in this audience, we're going to do the campaign. It's about getting people in theaters. There's and who knows whether it will work or not, but you'll see. It won't be too long, and you'll know it started here. So.
I think we know what you're talking about. Yeah, whatever. You don't have to give us the specifics, but basically, the campaign, we haven't talked about this, I'll just put words in your mouth. The campaign is to, before we get too far down the road to where we're now expected to watch movies on our iPhone, and the theatrical experience is killed, and if you don't think it can happen, look up one of the record companies tomorrow, which don't exist. Things can happen quite quickly, and we lose great things that we have. But to support the theatrical experience, and nothing against what you just said, that the small towns, but how did I do? Is that good?
Yes. You did very well.
See, I know you still don't trust this crowd, but I'm telling you.
I trust this crowd.
The only person you have to worry about is that guy who's leaving right now.
He's going right now to the internet.
Don't worry. There's internet down in Sutton's Bay, but he has to get on a horse to get there. So, actually, our security are tackling him right now and calling him in a kind and gentle Norwegian Traverse City way.
And Roger was always an early adopter of technology. He was the first film critic to ever to use a computer, the first one to have an old CompuServe over 20 years ago. He actually had a forum before people even knew what the web was. He had a forum with CompuServe, and he did a lot of things. So he likes technology. In 1987, Roger predicted that we would be seeing things by pushing a button in our house on a little screen. This was in 1987, before any of this stuff was invented. So he always had the vision of technology, but he still believed that most movie going should be like this. A community of people sitting together, seeing it on a big screen, talking about it afterwards. He said that that engendered feelings about something you can have a talk. He was afraid that as we go forward into the 21st century, that people will become more isolated. He said that people don't talk to their neighbors as much as they used to. He was from a small town in Illinois, and so one of the things I loved about him is right until the day he passed away, he remained sort of a person who cared about other people. And he thought that technology was good, but only if it helped you connect with other people, not something that made you become more isolated. So I don't think that, he thought that for your work, if you had to watch something on a small screen, okay, or if you were someone who was, sometimes there are people who, for whatever reason, it could be a disability or whatever, that they should have good viewing in the home, but you should also still be able to have a really big community experience like this and watching movies.
Those of us who are, or at least my filmmaking friends, we see the audience as one of the elements that makes this a film. In the same way that the projector, the screen, the audience is on that level. To us, it's not a movie if it's not in a theater and not being shared in a communal way with other people. And because we make it for that reason. We want you to cry together. We want you to laugh together. We know how infectious both of those things are. And comforting it is when you hear other people, most of whom are strangers of yours, in here. We sit in the dark with strangers, people we do not know, to have this experience. And it's not, we all know this, it's not the same on television. It's not the same. And TV didn't kill the movies, the VCR didn't kill the movies. All the things they say would kill the movies. See, now the computers haven't killed the movies because people want this.
One of the things that we're getting a lot of letters and emails and on social media from men, and this is another thing that I'm not supposed to say, but I'm just going to say it to this audience.
Everyone raise their hand. I, the audience at Lars Hochstead, promise not to let what Chaz is going to say outside the doors of this theater. So help me, Cal Casco.
Actually, I won't hold you to this because this is something, and I could be wrong about this, but we've gotten so many letters and emails, and when we look at social media, from men who said they saw the movie, they saw multiple viewings of Life Itself. They said because they knew it might be sad, they first watched it on video on demand or iTunes at home, so if they cried, they could cry by themselves, and then they took their family or their wife or girlfriend or whoever to the movie theater to see it, because then they could sit and be more in control of their emotions. And I was surprised at that.
No, it's the studios have actually done some psychological surveys or whatever of the American public, because they're always trying to figure out what's the trailer is one of the best ways to get people to come see a movie, the previews, coming attractions. And they have learned that the majority of Americans, and only Americans, essentially want to know the end, or what they think is going to be the end of the film in the trailer, not us, but the majority of our fellow Americans, because they're afraid sometimes to come to a movie not knowing how they're going to react to it in public with people, or maybe just on a date, and they don't want to enter into something that is, and it's based on, we have sadly, as a people, become a frightened people, and we've been manipulated with fear.
Why be afraid of your emotions? I mean, I have to tell you, I don't know, I think, well, do the women agree with me that it's okay for men to show their emotions? How many women would say that? I think it's okay. It's not that you want a man crying all the time or anything, but you do want to know that you have a man cares. That's one of the things I loved about Roger. And he didn't cry a lot, but he wasn't afraid to say if he really cared about an issue, or if he really, what he cared about, our grandchildren, or he wasn't afraid to tell me he loved me, or he wasn't afraid to say that